Hi, this is just a very quick little explanation on how the lessons work in these content connection math courses that you're enrolled in. The lessons in each course are pretty well laid out the same way, so I'm showing you Math 10 course here, but whatever your course is, it will be very, very similar to this. If you have one of these introduction videos in your course, you should listen to that. That explains some of the quizzes and tests and learning guides and how the course will be assessed. So you should definitely watch that and get an idea of how the overall course structure is. But I'm just going to talk about the actual lesson. So I'm going to go into, I think, this trigonometry unit here. And you can see there's learning guides which are explained in that other little introduction video, and quizzes and unit exams, and again they're explained in the introductory video. I'm going to go into a lesson here. So as you can see in this particular unit there are 4 lessons. I'll go into, I guess, this lesson here, and it looks like this. Now the actual way of going through the lesson is very, very easy. There's a little pause button and a slider down here that when you click on there,
in this lesson, we're going to look at one more and the last trigonometric ratio you need to know.
You can hear that he's explaining the lesson, and if you move the slider, you can go ahead in the lesson or back in the lesson. And
C-O-S-I-N-E. However, we can write this as this here, just as C-O-S.
So you can see there's stuff happening on the screen here as he talks, and in some pages, you'll eventually get to a stage where there'll be a question for you to answer, or you'll have to do something.
Good. Now, I would like you to try example 1 here. Check your answer, and if necessary, check.
And just like the lessons here, once you practice this example here, or whatever it asks you to do, and this isn't going to happen on every page, but this particular one it does. If you click on the answer, you're given the answer, and if you've got it correct, well, that's great. But if you haven't figured out how to get that correct answer, then again, there's a step-by-step solution here that works just like the lesson.
First, you want to label the triangle in relation to angle B.
And again, there's a slider here that you can move backwards and forwards, or you can pause that if you want to stop and just look at what's going on. And then once you finish that page, there's again controls on the bottom right here that enable you to go to the next page. So I just click on there.
You know what the cosine ratio means. What have I asked?
And we can see we're at 3.2, 3.3. So you
from the last few pages you learn to
go through the lessons until you get to the end. Or if you want to back up and watch a page again, you can back up like that. So that's basically how you control the lessons. Now, there's a couple of other things you should be aware of here. First of all, the learning guide that's discussed in the introductory video on the main page talks about a learning guide. That can be used as your notes as you go through a unit, although there's also another note-taking supplement here. And if you look at this link here, you can see that if you remember that very first page, there was 3 triangles on it. So this is a duplicate of what's on each page, 3.1, 3.2. With the idea being that you can watch and listen to the video and make your own notes while you fill those out. Remember that example that we stopped at? That's the example right there. So this is very handy. It'll save you some writing. It helps you stay focused on the lesson, and you can make your own notes. And you can imagine as you go through a math course, you're going to have a lot of content you're going to have to remember. So this would give you a really good set of notes here, as well as giving you room if there's examples you have to figure out going through the lesson. Lots of room here to write them here, and it really gives you something to refer to later on. You can see like 3.5, the cosine ratio here, 2 examples. And here's that same lesson. And as you go through it, you can see there's example 6 and there's example 7, the one that you have to do. So again, lots of room on these note-taking supplements for you to go through the lessons and save yourself a lot of writing and drawing diagrams and stuff. So that can be handy. Then the other thing is there's some practice assignments here. So even though you may have a lot of questions on your learning guides, you may want to do more practice, because the more practice you do in a math course, the more you'll learn the content. And again, just click on the links and print these off. And they look like this. And so, there's 8 questions in this particular practice assignment. And at the very bottom of it, you'll see that there's some answers. So you can check your work as you go. Now, if you can't get the correct answer, you don't always have access to a teacher right away. So you're like, oh, gee, I got most of them, but I can't get, I don't know, like number 6, for instance. Well, the nice thing is that if you go back to the main lesson page, not only is there a practice assignment, but there's detailed practice solutions. So even though the answers are given on the page, if you get stuck, you can go into the practice solution and say you're stuck on number 6 here. And there it is, and you just click play. And
this is a 20-foot long piece of 2x12 is leaning against the outside wall of the house.
And again, there's the same controls that are in the lesson, so you can see that writing is appearing there as the teacher talks.
Is over 20. We'll cross multiply.
So that's kind of nice, because then not only do you, if you get stuck, you'll have a nice step-by-step explanation on how to attack that question. Well, hopefully that explains the navigation inside the lesson. It's fairly straightforward, and I'm sure that you'll have good luck with these courses, and all the best with the rest of the course.